Okay, back at you with another video here for the NBA main slate here on Wednesday. We got a really solid 7-game slate. Real quick, let's see how we're currently doing tonight. So it ended up being a really good night for me. The big news was once Marc Gasol got ruled out, there was very few Memphis guys left. They only had 9 available players, and I tweeted about that. I tweeted Ivan Robb was an absolute lock. I liked Conley, Jaren Jackson, and Justin Holiday, so I ended up stacking the Grizzlies with Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns, I also tweeted about that. He got a huge boost with no Gasol. So I did really like this Minnesota-Memphis game. Just stacked it up. Jaylen Brown, like I said, I did like a couple of his Boston pieces early. Just, he was okay. Lou Williams did talk about hitting him in my video. He had a pretty big night. And Darren Collison was doing good, but the blowout kind of killed me. So, it was really solid night. And I'm looking to keep it going here tonight for Wednesday. So let's get right into the analysis here. Okay, so like I said, 7 games. Right at the back, just looking at this, there's really solid games on the slate. 2 of my favorite game stacks probably would be this Pelicans and the Bulls game. Not a lot of defense going to be played in that one. And then as well as Houston, Sacramento, 2 really fast-paced teams going up against each other. So those are 2 of my probably favorite game stack games. Okay, so let's just get into the general analysis here. Starting with Harden at 12.6. This is just a dream matchup here against Sacramento. Fade him. If you fade Harden on this slate, you're bolder than me. I'm locking him in, especially against the Kings. This is just a lock and load play for me. So I'm playing Harden, and then I'm filling my lineup from there. Doncic here, I get it, but it's just the price is too much for me at 9.5K. I know he's been playing really well, but why would I pay 9.5K for Doncic when I can just pay a couple extra thousand to get James Harden against the Kings, the best possible matchup. So that's kind of my thoughts with that. The Golden State, we got news of San Antonio is going to rest DeMar DeRozan as well as LaMarcus Aldridge. So I'm just completely staying away from the Golden State side. It just has blowout written all over it at Golden State. So I'm completely staying away from Golden State. Drew Holiday, so this is a game I do really like with the Pelicans and the Bulls. There's not going to be a whole lot of defense played in this one. Holiday should play all the minutes he can handle in a close game. The issue is, again, it's just I'm playing Harden, so can I fit Drew Holiday in? Yeah, I probably can, but it's going to make kind of some other, I would have to make some other tough decisions. So that's kind of, the issue with Drew is just you got to get Harden in there. Kemba, not for me. I get it, but I'll be going elsewhere. Donovan Mitchell, same thing. I know the matchup's good. There is some blowout risk. Devin Booker currently is questionable. Phoenix has kind of been a mess situation. So, I get the play, Donovan Mitchell, but I will not be going there personally. D'Angelo Russell, just been up and down. The Mets been up and down. 8.1K. Does he still have upside in this price? Yes. Will I be playing him? No, I'm not a D'Angelo Russell guy. Now we get to De'Aaron Fox here at 7.2. Really hard to trust Dave Yeager, but this is this is a really good game. Like I said, two fast-paced teams going up against each other. Fox usually turns it up in in good matchups here, in primetime matchups. He'll be going against James Harden, Chris Paul. So I think Fox is a really solid play here at 7.2. Chris Paul at 7.1. It just seems too cheap, especially in this matchup. He played the minutes slowly getting up there. Played 33 minutes against Phoenix. I do really like Chris Paul, and I don't mind, honestly, playing Chris Paul with James Harden together. I think that's a solid idea. So this Milwaukee-Washington game, I think this is going to be a sneaky game stack game. I don't think a lot of people will be on it, but it definitely does. You definitely can game stack this game. Let me go to Milwaukee really quick. On the Milwaukee side, obviously Giannis, Bledsoe, Middleton would probably be the guys I was the most interested in. And then Washington side, Beal and any of the wings, Porter, Ariza, Jeff Green, even Satoransky. I think it goes kind of low owned, but I definitely think it is viable as a game stack, that is. Okay, let's go back to point guard here. Okay, so Chris Dunn-Levine. This has, I keep saying, 2 bad teams. not a whole lot of defense should be played here. Dunn and Levine, been playing some pretty solid minutes here, so I do like Dunn and Levine quite a bit here at 6.6 and 6.4K. Monte Morris, we got some big injuries for Denver. Let's go to Denver really quick here. So Jamal Murray, Gary Harris already ruled out, and Paul Millsap listed as questionable. So if Jamal Murray gets ruled out, then it's, Monte Morris is a really solid player at 6.1. Same thing with Barton, even Beasley. So those three would benefit the most from Jamal Murray being out. And then if Paul Millsap's out, it's obviously, it's Mason Plumlee would be the chalk, and then Trey Lyles would be coming off the bench. He also had a pretty solid game. So both those guys would definitely be in play if Millsap does miss. Okay, back to point guard. Let's see. Cheap point guards. So San Antonio, obviously I said, DeRozan as well as Aldridge are going to be out. I mean, San Antonio just doesn't have a whole lot of players. I wonder how many players are going to be active. But you got to really consider Bryn Forbes and Patty Mills here. They're definitely going to be shooting the ball a bunch. There's just San Antonio just doesn't have a whole lot of bodies to put out there. I know it's probably going to be a blowout, but some Spurs are going to have to play some minutes. So Bryn Forbes, Patty Mills, definitely in play here at 4.3 and 4.2 respectively. The new Dallas guys, Hardaway, Trey Burke. Personally, I'm probably going to take a wait and see approach just to see kind of how the lineup shakes out. So I'm probably not going to go there. And then we got Frank Jackson, Frazier for the Pelicans. Let me go to New Orleans really quick here. The guard situation. So Drew's obviously, he's going to play close to 40 minutes a night. And you got Kenrich Williams here. He's been playing really solid basketball. He's also playing all the minutes he can handle, so I think he's pretty solid. I know he's priced up, but he's been playing really well, so I think he's definitely in play here at 5K. Frank Jackson. Minutes been a little up and down for some of these Pelicans guards with Frank Jackson and Tim Frazier. I got burned by Tim Frazier only playing 18 minutes the other night. But we've seen, both those guys have some pretty big upside. So I think you could take a shot on one of those guys, but it is a little risky. Again, the Pelicans guard rotation besides Drew Holiday has been a little inconsistent. Other than that, I don't really think I see anything of interest down here. So let's move on to shooting guard. Beal. Again, I think this game kind of goes low owned, but I definitely think it is stackable. So I think Beal is solid play here at 8.6. Okay, Buddy Hield, 6.7. Seems a little too cheap right now. I know it is. It's always hard to trust Dave Yeager, but this should be a shootout game. I expect Buddy Hield to play right around 35 minutes. 6.7K, he just seems a little underpriced, so I think Buddy Hield is a pretty solid play. Klay Thompson, again, personally, I'm probably staying away from the Golden State side. It just says blowout written all over it. So Oubre, Josh Jackson, even Elie Kobo, if Devin Booker misses, would all get a pretty significant boost. I know the match against Utah would not be the best, but a couple of Suns guys would definitely be viable if Devin Booker misses. So we're going to have to kind of wait for news there. Let's see, Shabazz. I understand the matchup, not really the best here against Denver, but this guy, he's going to play 25 or so minutes off the bench. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. 17, 13, 13, and 15 shots. I really like him at 5.3K. I don't understand why his price has not really gone up. So I think Shabazz is a really solid play here at 5.3K. Let's see. Other than that, cheaper shooting guards. Okay, so Bellinelli. So let me just go to, I guess I'll go to San Antonio really quick and go to the utility. So obviously we've got no DeRozan, no Aldridge. Rudy Gay here, he's going to be the main catalyst in the offense at 5.9. Obviously there is blowout risk, but I think he can still get you there in 3 quarters with San Antonio basically just having no one else to play. So I think Rudy Gay is a really solid play here at 5.9. Again, I think even if he plays only 3 quarters, I still think he can get you there just because San Antonio really doesn't have a whole lot of bodies to play. Obviously, Derek White out as well. Talk about Brent Forbes and Patty Mills. Like I said, they have to run guys out there for minutes, so those guys will also be solid. Then Davis Bertans at 4.1. I think he would be one of my favorite Spurs for sure. We've seen when he gets minutes, he can be pretty productive. So I think Bertans would probably be my favorite value play here for the Spurs. And then you got Bellinelli, also going to be asked to play probably some pretty big minutes. He is more scoring dependent, but like I said, just the Spurs have limited options here. So I think Bellinelli would also be pretty solid. And you got Pau Gasol and Jakob Poeltl here. So they're going to be going against Boogie Cousins. So the Spurs are going to need to play pretty big here. So Pau Gasol and Jakob Poeltl, basically both those guys are min price. I'm going to wait for a starting lineup, but both these guys definitely in play here. Who would I pick if I had to pick one? It's a little tough. I think Jakob Poeltl just plays more minutes, because obviously he's younger. But Pau here, the veteran, like I said, they're going to need a body to put on Boogie Cousins. So I think both those guys are pretty solid. If I had to pick, I guess I probably would take Pau Gasol, but I think both those guys are certainly in play. And then the end of the bench here, Eubanks, Meadow, Lonnie Walker, Cunningham, Pondexter. I'm going to wait for news on who all is going to be active for the Spurs before I take a shot at any of these guys. So definitely, guys, if you haven't already followed me on Twitter, it's really important to do so. I will give my thoughts as the Spurs active players comes out, as I have more information. So really important to follow me on Twitter, and I'll give my thoughts as more news comes out. So okay, that's kind of my thoughts on the Spurs situation. Shooting guard, I think that was about it. So let's move on to small forward. Giannis, like I said, I think this game goes pretty low owned. He is a pivot off of Harden. I understand if you want to do it. The matchup's great against Washington. Me personally, though, I'm not going there. Let's see. The Washington Wings, Otto Porter, Ariza, Jeff Green, going to play most of the game. So all those guys are pretty solid plays. No issue with any of them. Satoransky, surprisingly, they haven't been closing with him, but he's been playing some good basketball. So it does concern me that Washington has not been closing with Satoransky. Darius Miller, another one of those Pelicans that's just playing most of the game here. I know the price is up there a bit, but if he's going to continue to play close to 40 minutes, you got to consider him. So I think he's definitely in play. Jabari Parker here, he was out for personal reasons. The minutes were really up and down, but we've seen what he can do when he gets minutes. Played 23 minutes, got you 45 fantasy points. I think you definitely need to take a shot here at 4.2K. It's just the minutes are so up and down, but he does have huge upside. So GPPs, I do really like Jabari Parker. Okay, let's move on to power forward. Fareed here, I think goes really low owned at 7K. But this is a really good matchup here against the Kings. The Kings play big. So I think Fareed is going to be asked to play all the minutes he can handle. And I think he's really low owned. But I definitely think he is playable. And you got Julius Randle, so this is pretty big news. If he misses, then Okafor, even Cheek Diallo would be really solid plays. I do like targeting bigs against Chicago. If Randle plays, I'm going to kind of wait for news. If he's going to be limited, then I probably won't go there. But if he's going to play and there's no minutes limit, then I would like him a lot at 7.7. So that's kind of news we're going to have to kind of wait for. Marketing here at 6.9. Him and Bobby Portis. I want to get a lot of exposure to this game. So Marketing as well as Bobby Portis here. I like them a lot. Like I said, this Pelicans Chicago game, everyone basically besides Drew is like mid to low tier, so it's really easy to get a game stack of this game. That's kind of why I like it. Bagley been playing really good here of late. Put up 55 fantasy points against the Spurs. Now he gets a match against Houston and Kenneth Faried, who doesn't play a whole lot of defense. I think Bagley is going to be a little chalky, but I don't mind eating it. I think he's definitely in play here at 5.8K. Let's see. So obviously, I talked about Plumlee as well as Trey Lyles. Both those guys would be really good value plays if Paul Millsap does miss again. And then let's move on to the center position. Jokic, I think, goes extremely low owned. But, I mean, Brooklyn's bigs against Brooklyn. I've been targeting bigs against Brooklyn all year. It's been very successful. Like I said, he's going to go very low owned just because everyone's going to be on Harden. Some people are going to be on Giannis. No one's going to play Jokic. But he does have huge upside here. So I think if you want to play the ownership aspect of it, it's not a bad play at all. Okafor. If Randall plays, then I probably won't go there. But if Randall misses, I do like Okafor a lot here at 7.3K. So that's kind of, we're going to have to just kind of wait for news with Julius Randle. Boogie Cousins, I think he plays his 25 minutes no matter what, even in a blowout. So could you go there? Yeah. But I probably won't. You got Cauley Stein at 5.5K. The minutes have just been up and down. Like I said, it's hard to trust Dave Yeager, but it's just the price tag here, 5.5. It seems really underpriced. I know the emergence of Marvin Bagley definitely does worry me with Cauley Stein, but it's just the price tag of 5.5K that seems way too cheap for him. And Cheek Gallo here. Only if Randall misses, then she would play the backup big. They even played him a little together with Jahlil Okafor. So I think Chicago does kind of run big. So if Randall misses, I think Cheek Gallo would be a really solid value play here at 3.7K. I think that's about it. So again, a kind of brief overview. There's definitely a lot of value here with San Antonio. Obviously, there's a huge ball risk, so I'm not going to play anyone in Golden State, but someone's got to play minutes for San Antonio. So there's definitely a lot of value for the Spurs. And then my favorite game stacks, this Houston-Sacramento game, as well as a New Orleans-Chicago. New Orleans-Chicago, just because everyone besides Drew is mid to low tier price-wise, so it's really easy to fit a game stack in. And then the Denver side, Jokic I think goes extremely low owned. A couple of those Denver guards, if Jamal Murray gets ruled out, would definitely be in play. And then Plumlee, Lyles, if Millsap misses. On the Brooklyn side, Napier seems too cheap at 5.3, so I do like him a lot. Washington, Milwaukee, another game stack I do like. I think it goes pretty low owned. Washington side, it's Beal, it's the wings. Milwaukee side, it's Giannis, Bledsoe, Middleton. Charlotte, Denver. I didn't really talk about a whole lot of guys I like in this, but I'll probably be staying away from this game. I can see it be high scoring, but I'm just going to take a wait and see approach with the new Dallas guys. And then Charlotte, besides Kemba, it's just the rotations are so wacky, so I don't know if I want to go with anyone there. Phoenix, Utah, the blowout does worry me a lot if Devin Booker does miss. But obviously, there'll be a lot of minutes to go around. So Kobo, Josh Jackson, Oubre would probably be the guys I have the most interest in, even in a bad matchup. And yeah, I think that's basically the overview of the slate. So I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, please like this video, guys. All the likes, subscribes, it really helps me out as growing as a channel. So I would really appreciate if you guys could do that. Like I said, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, I will put that in the description below. It's really important to do so. I will give my thoughts as news comes out throughout the day. Like I said, the Spurs active players, that's kind of one thing I'm going to wait for to see how many players are going to be active. And then, we got Julius Randle news. We got a couple of injury news that we're waiting for. So really important to follow me on Twitter. And yeah, like I said, I'll get my thoughts as more news comes out. And I'll be back for another video on Thursday. So I will see you guys then.